You know that feeling when you feel like, well, I missed that boat, that ship has sailed, about a career you wanted to have, the weight you wanted to lose, the person that you wanted to be with, and you just have just given up and you just say it's over, forget it. I'm not going to do that. You know that feeling? Well, today I'm going to talk to you about that feeling and understanding why that happens, and also to give you a real practical advice about really going from that resignation feeling to a feeling of regeneration. So what you're about to see is a recent talk that I just did, and I address exactly that, going from that resignation feeling to having that feeling of regeneration. Okay? So stick around till the end because I do answer some viewers' questions that are really good. There's some really good stuff in there. So make sure you stick around till the end. And please, if you could, hit the like button and subscribe if you want to have more of this kind of information in your life. All right? Thanks again for being here, and I'll talk to you soon. You know, the egoic mind has this whole game that it plays with us. And the egoic mind, it will tell us a lot of things, right? But one of the things that the egoic mind will tell us is that it's over, and not in a good way. You have not achieved your goals. It's over. You have not fallen in love. It's over. You never repaired that relationship. It's over. You still haven't lost that 10 fucking pounds. It's over, right? And so the ego is going to keep telling you that you missed the boat. The ego is going to tell you that you've missed the boat, that there's something wrong. That's for sure. And it gives you this feeling, an impression that you might as well just give up. You might as well just give up, right? And this is important for you to connect with in yourself. So ask yourself right now, remember, teaching isn't learning, but you have to do some reflection and look at your own life. So ask yourself, what in your life is your egoic mind telling you it's over? Forget that. Now, there's a very big difference between you choosing, I'm letting that go. Very different. But that hope that you had for something, that need is a very interesting word here, need that you have to get something, all of those things. What in your life is your egoic mind telling you, well, you screwed that up. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Think about that for a moment. Think about that. It could be a relationship. It could be a career. It could be your health. It could be a lot of different things. So think about that for a moment. What could it be? What could it be? Because if you really listen to the ego, like some people do, unconsciously listen to the ego because they're not exactly sure what the ego is yet, you will buy that. You'll buy it. You'll buy it. And one of the reasons that you'll buy it is that the ego has you believe in time. The ego has you believe in time. What does time have to do with this? Time has to do with the past, obviously, the present, and the future. But definitely the focus on the past. The focus on the past, the regrets from the past, what you've done before, what you didn't achieve, what you didn't do, what you should have done, coulda, shoulda, woulda. You've heard it a million times. The coulda, shoulda, and woulda. That is the ego's anthem. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. And where does that live? In the past. In the past. It will also get you fearful about what's going to happen to what? Where? In the future. What's going to happen if I don't make enough money? What's going to happen if no one ever loves me? First of all, people love you. You can't feel it. Doesn't matter. But you are loved. Love is the only thing that's real, but we'll come back to that. So it's that fear of the future, or even the dream of the future, and then also that regret from the past. Those two things are the belief in time. So the belief in time is going to keep you in this place where you can't move on, where you feel like I'm a failure. Something's wrong with me, for sure. Now, if you didn't believe in time, guess where you would live? You'd live in the present moment, where rebirth is happening at all times. What I'm going to tell you right now is stuff that you already know, but I'm sure there are people here that are listening that need to hear this right now, that regeneration is possible. Second chances, rebirth is possible. It's not only possible, it's the way life is. You are constantly rebirthing. You're constantly given second, third, fourth, fifth, million chances all the time. But you have decided, oh, I can't do that anymore, or whatever happens to be. Does that make sense, everyone? You understand? Take a deep breath. I'm going to give you a quote from A Course in Miracles here because I think it applies really, really well. In the Course, he says, the only thing that is real in the past is the love you shared there. The only thing that's real in the past is the love you shared there. Everything else is a story that your ego is holding on to and keeping you stuck, right? Everything else. Listen, you all know the game of telephone, or whatever they call it, telephone, where even with 5 people, you whisper, the dog went down the street. The next person goes, there's a dog and there's a street. The next person says, there's a street and it has a dog on it. And then the first person says, the dog got hit on the street. Think about that for a moment, because this is exactly what happens. You don't remember, you don't really know what your version of the past is not the way it was. It definitely wasn't. All you do, if you have brothers and sisters, or you've grown up with friends, and you've literally had the same experience with a parent or whatever, and you ask them, oh yeah, remember that time that we went to Disneyland? And mom was so blah, 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 blah. Or dad was blah, 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 blah. And your sister or your brother or your friend goes, no, that's not how I saw it. It's completely different. We had a great time. It was really fun. So you don't see anything clearly. It's all through the filters, all through these egoic filters that you've got going on. So you don't see the past. So all of that stuff is not real. The only thing that's real is the love that was shared there. That's it. That is it. The other lesson in the Course in Miracles says, the past is over, it can touch me not. The past is over, it can touch me not. Now, that doesn't mean that we do not keep listening to the egoic mind that keeps like in the mafia, it keeps pulling us back in. It keeps pulling you back in because of your regret, because of how it should have been, how it could have been, how it would have been, if I only would have, or if they would have only done this, right? The past is over. It can touch you not. It truly can touch you not if you are in the present moment. Take a deep breath. You did the best you could at the time. Very well. Very good. I saw something I put on my Instagram stories when I was walking. I walk around New York City all the time. And someone had scribbled with chalk on the road, I'm doing the best I can. I'm like, you're doing the best you can. I love it. That's it. Right. Family in town, and I have regrets with them. That's right. So if you keep having regrets, first of all, I've said this before and I'll say it again. If you say you have no regrets, I don't believe you. It's just not human. It's not a human thing to not have a regret here or there. It's just not. So, but a regret will hold you back. You have to face your regrets and go, oh yeah, okay. And I've said it here before. I'll say it again. I'll say it a million more times. One of the greatest ways to deal with regret is what? The F word. The other F word. Forgiveness. Forgiveness. Forgive yourself for doing what you did in the past. Forgive them for what they did in the past. Forgive the situation for being something that you think it should have been, but it wasn't. Just forgive. Forgive everyone for everything. And you will begin to live in the what? Present moment. And in the present moment is where all your power is. And in the present moment is where God is, where peace is, where love is. It's right here. And like I said, I'm going to come back to this thing that we said at the beginning. Talking doesn't teach. So you have to do the work to find the present moment, to be in the present moment, right? And here, I'll give you a clue. You ready? You cannot not be in the present moment. That's a double negative, but I love it. You cannot not be in the present moment. Because you are. Right now, you're in the present moment. You're just thinking about your laundry or thinking about what happened in the past or thinking about how you want to be a movie star in the future. You cannot not be in the present moment. I'm in the present moment. You're in the present moment. So you don't even have to try to be in the present moment because you already are. That's kind of like trying to love yourself. Trying to love yourself doesn't really work. Why does trying to love yourself not work? Why? Because love is all there is. So you don't have to try to love. Take a deep breath. Get it? How do you let go of the past to become open to new possibilities? You forgive the past for what it is, for what it was, because you wanted the past to be different. You wanted the past to be different. As long as you wanted the past to be different, you're not going to be able to be open to new possibilities. Because it's like putting... I love this. I love this phrase. It's like putting lipstick on a pig, because then you still haven't forgiven the past because you're still holding stuff against it. But you're like, but I'm going to do this now. And I'm just going to forget that ever happened. No, you can't do that. You have to know the problem before the problem can be solved, right? You have to forgive it for being for what it was. And what it is, and your assumptions about what it is or what it was, because what it was is not, like I said, what you think it was. Remember the telephone game. It's so obvious. Just say to yourself, I probably don't even fucking know. I don't even know what that is, but I've been traveling around for 30 years with this idea about what the past was. Guess what? You probably don't even know. You have to forgive. You have to forgive. Okay? Let go of blame and embrace understanding. Word. You get it? Okay. So, you can start again in any moment. You can start right now. Doesn't matter. And sometimes it gives you a lot of pressure to be like, I got to start again. Don't go down that road either. Just embrace what's happening right now. If right now, in the moment, you're like, I want a garden, then go garden. If in this moment, something is telling you, you have to leave the job already, it's time to go, then leave the job. If in the present moment it says, I need to clear my schedule and I need to go on a 3-hour walk, then clear your schedule and go for a 3-hour walk. There's a lot of pressure that the ego will get in here too. Be like, oh, I'm going to restart again. And it's a rebirth and da-da-da. There's nothing wrong with those things, but be aware that the ego is going to get you back into that same thing. Another competition, another way to be better, another way to be successful. Fuck that. You got to fuck that shit. If you really want to be joyful and peaceful and start to wake up from the game, you can't play those games anymore. You got to be in the flow. And the flow is not happening when you finally get successful. The flow is not happening when you finally blah 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 blah. Capiche? So this weekend, coming back to that, this weekend, think about how you can regenerate. Think about how you're holding on to the past. Think about how you're putting so much pressure on the future. This is a big one. Puts all this pressure on the future. And it's got to be like this, and I have to be like this, and they have to be like this. And if it doesn't happen like this, you're just setting yourself right up for the ego to come in and be like, well, you're a big piece of shit because it didn't happen the way you say it's supposed to happen. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do it. Or the ego is saying, but that isn't the right thing to do. Of course. It's definitely going to be like, well, you can't clear your calendar. You can't stop and not do your responsibilities. It's definitely saying that, for sure. Damn ego. Past event is impacting a decision at work. You're welcome. That you don't have control over. Yeah, you don't have control over it. So to stop thinking you have control. That's exactly, Julia, that's perfect. It's a past event that's impacting a decision that you have no, that's what's the acronym for fear? False evidence appearing real. You don't have any control over it. It seems like it's real. You have no control over it. It's a big deal, what you just said. You don't have any control over it. Just be good with that. You have no control over it. You can make a decision. I was saying this the other day. I say it often. Every decision you make is the right decision, so just make a decision. It doesn't matter.